Yo, how's it going, folks? It's me again, your boy Tabo, and this is another lesson on SVG for the web. And today I'd like to discuss styling with CSS. But like before, I've prepared a file, and on this file I've got a couple of shapes that I created, and I'm just going to show you how to assign SVG styles using CSS. Now it's quite simple. For those of you that are not familiar with CSS, then I would suggest that you watch my CSS for beginner tutorial, and then once you familiarize yourself with CSS, then you can come back to this one. Otherwise it might be confusing, but I'm assuming that the rest of the people that might be watching this are already familiar with CSS, and this is just showing you how you can use CSS to assign styles. And then later on I will also show you how you can use CSS animations instead of SVG. Okay, so this is what I have prepared. What I'm gonna do is I will open this up in our favorite browser, and then let's have a look at what this looks like. Okay, so basically this is what I have prepared. You've got these shapes right here, and what we'll be doing then, we'll be assigning all these shapes with different styles, or with different colors, different filters, using CSS only. So at the moment, when you look at these, then there's no filling. It's just basic shapes without any kind of color or anything assigned to it. So what we're going to do is I've created different IDs for them, and then different classes. So we're going to explore just how we would go about using CSS to assign the different filters to it and the different fill colors. Okay, so as you can see over here, what we're going to do is we'll first start with the rect. So what I would like to do, as you can see, they all have the same class. So usually, as you know, you would use a class when you want to assign a style to many shapes at the same time. So I gave this a class of rect, meaning that the rect will have a certain style which will be only assigned to rects, and then same with circles. But first we'll start with the individual shapes. We have a rect 1 here, and then so we'd like to assign a fill color for this rect. So we'll say fill, and then what I would like to assign it with is I would like to use one of these gradients. So I will assign this a linear gradient. This is GRD1 as the fill color. So how I would go about that, I would say URL, and then I would say hash, and then GRD1. Okay, so if we have a look now, you can see, so now we've managed to assign this shape with this gradient color. If I also wanted, I could just use an ordinary color. If I want, I would just say blue, and I would say, okay, so there we go, we've got a blue color. So this is how you would go about assigning colors or any kind of style, really. This is the method that you would go about using. And then, so what we're going to do then, I'm going to assign the different fillings for the different rects. So I'll say, and then I'll just change the ID. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, there we go. So now we've got these. So this is pretty simple. With everything that you know about SVGs, if you wanted to use CSS as alternative, because CSS also does offer other functionalities which you would not get with CSS, so you can play around with both and see how you can get the best out of both. And so this is how you would go about it. And so I would do the same here with the circles. I'd say fill, and then I've got a different gradient that I created for that. So this would be RGRD1, and then I'll copy that, assign that over there, then assign that over there. Okay, so now I will change this to 2, and then make that into. Okay, so I see one has got a filling. Let me just have a look. Maybe I did not assign. Yes, that's okay. Just over here, that's the problem. Go back, and so there we go. Okay, so these are the ones that we have. I mean, I can also just change the colors. What I will do is I will take one of these, take that, and then I will put it here. Okay, that's actually my bad. I somehow forgot to change the colors, but it's not a problem. It goes quite quickly. And I'll take that, And then I will assign it to this one over here. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got our different shapes and they have different color fillings using CSS. So now what we can also do, since we have classes here, then we would like our rects to have, let's say we'd like our rects to have a blur filter. So how I would go about that, I would say I'll go here to rects, and then I will say filter, once again say URL, and then I will say blur. Okay, so let's have a look now. See, so now our shapes have got a blur on them. So mind you, remember that the filters that I'm using here, this is how you would reference a filter from your SVG file. So this is how you reference it. But otherwise, if you were just using plain CSS, you would do it in a different way. But for this lesson, this is how you reference your filter element. No, squash that. So for this lesson, this is basically how you would reference your different styles, your filling or filter. So in this case, it's a fill, color, and filter. So this is how you go about referencing. And so we will do the same here. What I would like to do here is also give this a filter, but rather I will give it a filter of drop shadow. Okay, so now I'll give it the circle to drop shadow. Okay, and so there we go. So we've got our drop shadow over there. So yeah, basically in a nutshell, this is how you would use CSS, you know, to then assign, squash that. So in a nutshell, this is how you would use CSS to reference the different filters or fill colors that you created in SVG. So this is how you would go about doing that. And any kind of changes that you still want to make to your filters, it will just update, but this is how you would go about it. So yeah, this is what I have for this lesson. I just wanted to make it simple and short. So this is how I went about it. So as you can see, I've got my style element over here, and here are my different styles. And all I'm doing is just referencing all of these different elements over here using your ID or using class. So this is the method. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Till the next one, love and peace, my brothers and sisters. I'm out. If you thought this video was good and helpful, please press that like button. For any questions or input, just remember to leave a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe to my channel and I'll keep more stuff coming your way.